Hello everyone, I am Undead Horde here on YouTube, but we are not here on the Undead Horde account. No. We are actually here on the Poison Man account. This is a count of rumors that I have talked about on and off throughout the videos. And it's finally time to reveal the account. I wasn't going to reveal it this early necessarily, but with the Xenomorph coming out, I absolutely felt like I had to talk about this account because Xenomorph is going to fall oh so perfectly into the account. With the poison, he just got so much poison on him. He's going to be so beautiful and so perfect. So I'm so happy for that. This video here is just going to be a short 10-minute long video that's just going to be a very brief overview of the account, right? Weird. So this is stop it. Go away. This is just like a very fast overview of the account, the champions that are on the account, kind of where I'm at right now, and then eventually I will be able to sit down and I'll be able to sit down and I'll be able to do like more in-depth content, but an account like this will not be like a daily video style content. It'll be much more like once or twice a week. Here's where the account is progressing to. Here's what I've been able to jump to. Showing off champions that have been like really good in the account and things like that. So let's take a look at it. I have some food champions here, so ignore some of them. But we will just kind of slowly go through all the champions that are actually a part of the account. So first and foremost, we have Kale. Oh, baby, we love Kale. He's so good. We're working on getting him 6-starred currently. That's what the food is developing for. Part of the reason for doing the challenge, and I've mentioned this before, is I love Poison Man. I love poison debuffs. I think they're so fun. Being able to slowly just kill somebody off, or just get like that sneaky moment where they go to attack or they do attack and they just like die immediately afterwards, I think is just so cool. And so, so I like Poison. I think it would be kind of a fun look at it, and like a different way to take like raid, because you got to think of my channel, guys. You got to think of my channel as a channel that's not traditional. I am not traditional raid. You are not going to see traditional raid on my account. You're going to see the wacky, the stupid, the outlandish. If you want to present a challenge to me that you want me to try, sure shit, I'm going to try it. You lay it on me, I will figure out how it's going to work. And that's what I'm here for. And you know what? I have another idea in the wings. So who knows what's going to happen? Things are going to get wild here. But Kale, obviously being a starting champion that does the poison, is phenomenal. He's a very strong champion that does it, is going to have use for quite a while. He's going to be my campaign farmer until somebody else better comes along. He's going to does really well in Demon Lord Clan Boss. And I think Poison in general does really well for Demon Lord. Poison does good, I believe, for Dragon as well, if I'm not mistaken on that front. So Poison alone as a debuff is going to be very useful throughout the game. So I think it's going to be a much stronger and a much faster start into this game than what I have been seeing from the Undead Horde account. Obviously, we have him max skilled, max ascension up until this point. We have been using some of the stuff that we've been receiving off of the Xenomorph login. I'm going to be looking at the pieces as I get them, leveling them up, and seeing if they're going to be worth putting on the kale versus the stuff that I have currently on the kale, and seeing if I can get anything better out of it by doing so, because obviously having only the lifesteal set on him is no longer going to work. This isn't the greatest piece of gear here. Is this something that's even worth? I mean, the amount of accuracy I'm going to get for it is going to be huge. I think it's going to put him at 140 accuracy, which is phenomenal. We're taking a huge tank in HP, but I can actually get that back if I 6-star this, or if I bring this up to 16. So I don't think that matters. We lose a little bit in defense, and we lose a bit in crit damage. But yet again, we're not even at max crit rate right now, so I don't think the crit damage nearly matters as much. The defense stat is nice, but is not like 11 points. I don't think is going to make the biggest difference. And any amount of additional speed is always really good. 10% resistance I don't think is horrible. I'm going to throw this piece on for now. I think it looks fine. I literally think we evened out. Like I said, we should have evened out anyways on the health stat. Yeah, so we evened out anyways, which is great. So now we are in perception lifesteal gear. For now, it'll probably get switched up eventually. And I'm probably already running longer than what I wanted to. 6 minutes, actually, 7 minutes now. We have the Fenchi. Again, none of these builds are going to be good. Like I said, this account has been around for literally the tiniest amount of time. So basically ignore the builds. They're just artifacts that are thrown on just to get any type of stat numbers on them. And they will be fixed soon. Fenchi's going to be... Fenchi's a code. This is just a code you can type in and get this champion. Right? So I don't actually have his poison unlocked yet. I'm working on it, but I'm still going to use him anyways because I need it. We're almost like we're right there on the cuff of the third ascension to get there. And I'm not going to... I have some books that I can put in. I don't think I want to start trying to put in the books until at least I have the third one, because I don't know where I actually fully want them all to fall. I have to look more into him. But he's got great reviews. His Fire Knight's Castle is going to be Demon Lord. Like, we have really, really good reviews on him, so I'm really excited to use him for that. But he brings a lot, or he's going to bring a lot more than what I have right now. On his A1, attacks one enemy 3 times, has a 30% chance of placing a decreased speed debuff for 2 turns, which is really nice. Decreased speed debuffs are just going to be extremely helpful. And then his A2 is attack one enemy 3 times, has a hit. Each hit has a 50% chance of decreasing the target's turn meter by 15%. This is going to be amazing and that can be booked down to a 2-turn. A 2-turn book down is huge, and probably why he gets so many good reviews for Fire Knight, having the multi-hit on both the A1 and A2, plus having turn meter control is phenomenal. On the A3, attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit places the big version of poison, the 5% poison debuff on the target for 3 turns, which is huge, and will ignore 10% of the target's defense for each poison debuff on the target. So this can ignore, well, if I have like a massive stack, right? So like with all the poisoners I'm going to have, an ability like this would hit for like... arguably could easily hit for 100% ignore defense, which is huge. So this is Fenchi. Tracker is a beautiful, beautiful uncommon. That her A1 is the poison, attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 10% chance of placing the baby version of poison, the 2.5 poison debuff for 2 turns. I think she could also be decent in Fire Knight's Castle. Has a 4. I think I could see that as just an early start to it for some of the rounds. Just having the multi-attack on the A1 is really nice. And then has the attack when enemy has a 20% chance of placing a 30% decreased debuff for 2 turns. That's always really nice. The actual biggest advantage to her A2 is the damage multiplier. It is a 6.6 attack multiplier, which is incredibly mental. That's what the base multiplier is. That is with nothing else added into it. And so that can get booked up to another 20%. Absolute insane numbers. We have Outlaw Monk. Attacks one enemy, has a 10% chance of granting an extra turn. It's fine. Then we have place 2 big version, 5% poison debuffs on the target for 2 turns, can be booked down to a 3-turn cooldown, but it just places it. It just says, here you go, you have it. So I believe if something places it, it actually ignores, you can hear my air fryer going off. I made food. I do apologize if it's been the entire video. That would make me feel really bad. So it places, I think placing it means it actually bypasses accuracy, if I'm not mistaken. But if I'm wrong about that, please let me know down below. But I feel like I've heard that before. Then we have Death Hound. Death Hound attacks one enemy, ignore shield and block damage buffs. Will ignore defense if the attack is critical, so we want 100% crit rate on him. And for the poison, which is what we really care about, attacks one enemy, places 5% poison debuff for 2 turns. Damage equivalent to defense. Makes this guy really defensive. Hits like a tank. And places 2-turn poison. Phenomenal. Dark Elf Lurker. Where their skill? Lurker. Attacks one enemy, has a 15% chance of placing a 2.5% debuff for 2 turns. This is fine, but she's also a common champion, so I'm not expecting much out of her. We have Orc Raider, I don't believe does any poison. I think she's just here for food. The Cultist does, though. Attacks one enemy 2 times. This could be fine, like I said, for very early game Fire Knight's team. Just having the multi-hit on the A1 is always nice. And then has his A2 is attacks all enemies. Has a 25% chance of placing a 2.5 bonus debuff for 2 turns. And that can be booked down to a 4-turn cooldown. It's fine. And that can also be booked up to a 40% chance, if my math is correct there, at placing the debuff, which is whatever. Will be very quickly replaced. Things like the Monk and the Cultist and like Lurker will be replaced as soon as possible with champions that just do it better. Speaking of somebody who can just do it better, Blood Painter. Attacks one enemy 2 times, has a 15% chance of placing a 5% bonus debuff for 1 turn. On a rare, I would like it to be a 2-turn debuff, but I digress. And that can obviously get bucked up to a 25% chance, which is like whatever. But having the multi-hit does mean he will be usable, at least somewhat, in Fire Knights. Then has attacks all enemy, has a 30% chance of placing a 50% decreased accuracy debuff for 2 turns. I think this is pretty important. And that can go up to a 40% chance on a 3-turn cooldown. And then fills the turn meter of all allies except for this guy by 20%. I think that's really nice. Just having turn meter fill is going to be extremely useful. And I think he's going to be the best option that I have for that as of right now. And then Ascended fills the turn meters of all allies except for this champion by 20%. And then places a 20% increase attack buff on all allies for 2 turns. I think that's also extremely helpful as well. On a 4-turn cooldown, fully booked is nice. Only 14 reviews. Doesn't get a lot, but yeah. Fire Knights is a 4. Demon Lord 4.1. So I think he does really well in a lot of areas. And so this will be fun. A fun one to book up and play around with. I think that's it. I'm pretty sure everybody else here is a food champion that I'm just working on. So, and there's, yeah, These are all food champions. Oh, there's 2 more to talk about here, actually. There is you, and I believe it's you. Oh, well, I guess I don't actually have to pull you up. I got a second kale. Just randomly pulled a second kale. I've actually been debating back and forth about whether or not I build the second kale, or if I build the blood painter first, like who I put the skill tums into first. It's been kind of a debate, but I'm thinking it's going to go into the blood painter just because of the additional support that I can get out of him versus Kale just basically just being a damage dealer. But I'd probably build the Kale here for like Demon Lord, where this Kale here, his masteries are put into him just being general PvE content. I'm sorry, did not mean to click out there. And we do have our last guy here in Tunnel Steward. He actually has an attack 1 enemy, places a 25% chance, has a 25% chance of placing a 2.5 poison debuff for 2 turns, which can be booked up to a 30% chance or 35% chance, which is fine. And then attacks 1 enemy has a 50% chance of increasing the duration of 2 random debuffs on the target for 1 turn. I think this is kind of cool to play around with all the poisons I'm going to be doing. So, you know, you constantly hit, will have a bunch of poisons on them. He can come in and then just be like, oh, poison for a longer turn. Especially if you can do it on the 5% ones over the 2.5% ones. That could really help out a lot, just getting additional damage multipliers on. I guess definitely in things potentially like Demon Lord. And this can be booked down to a 3 turn, which isn't bad, and gets a massive amount of damage buffs in it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Gets up to an additional 30% damage on that, which is absolutely amazing here. And now I do want to look them up on Hell Hades to see what the original damage multiplier is on him, because it feels like getting that much of a book into it seems absolutely wild. Where are you? Holy crap. He has a 5.5 attack multiplier. So this goes up to a 35.5 damage. That's insane. That's insane. I feel like that's crazy damage. I'll have to look into you. He only has 10 reviews, though. Apparently he's just bad? What am I missing here? Did he just not do enough? Is that why he's so bad? I'll have to check him out, because I feel like I could actually do something really funny with him. Anyways, this video is already significantly longer than what I wanted it to be. I do apologize for that, but obviously I want to do a lot of a champion breakdown and things like that, so you guys can kind of understand where I'm coming from with some of these champion choices here on the account, and kind of getting used, hopefully getting used to the idea of what this account is going to be and what this account is going to end up looking like and what y'all think about it. If there's anything more you want me to touch on with this account, then let me know. And I would gladly, I would love to show off this account more often. I think it's a really fun account. I've had a ton of fun with it. We have beaten through normal campaign all the way. Haven't started on hard yet. Planning on doing that soon. On dungeons, we've been doing pretty okay in dungeons right now, but I haven't had like a huge focus. Stage 6 here. We're on stage. I haven't tried dragons a whole ton since the mastery buff, so I have to see how far I can get in dragons. Spider, again, I haven't done anything since the masteries, so I have to see if we can push into stage 4 spiders. We haven't tried really much of anything on Fire Knights. So actually, there's actually not a ton for me to really show off here. But we're definitely getting there. I feel as if we're not in the worst position ever when it comes down to this account. And so I feel like I actually have a lot of potential with this one in such a short period of time, especially getting the Xenomorph in 5 days now is going to bring such a massive, massive, massive buff to this account that desperately needs it. So, or not desperately, but definitely can use it. Anyways, I've kept you guys way too long. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in another video soon. Peace.